You're welcome to Ben Television. My name is Tunde Alabi. It's a pleasure having you on this very special program that has been dedicated to giving to you basic information you need to know about Nigeria. Most importantly, update you about information on the country. We've got a very special guest all the way from Nigeria in the studio today. And our guest in the studio is not any other person than the Honorable Minister for Information and Communication in Nigeria. Labaran Maku is here in the studio and he'll be giving us basic information we need to know, current issues, updates that we need to know, and he will be enlightening us about things that are probably unknown to us as diasporans outside the shores of Nigeria. Joining me in the studio are my colleagues in the media. Of course, obviously, it's a media pally, it's a media chart, so I've got my colleagues in the studio. First, I have the publisher of one of the most read magazines here in the UK, The African Voice. I'm talking about Mike Abiola. You're welcome to this media pally with the Honorable Minister.
The Honorable Minister.
And also joining us in the studio is the Guardian correspondent in Europe here. That's Tunde Oyedoyin. You are welcome to this special program with the Honorable Minister.
Thank you very much.
Honorable Minister, I welcome you to this very, very special program. We'll be taking a look at Nigeria. It's your job.
And others here. Thank you for this privilege and opportunity to speak to our people here in Europe.
All right.
It's a pleasure.
Okay, let me first allow the publisher of African Voice to meet with the Honorable Minister through the first show.
Honorable Minister, it's good to see you so relaxed. Is it the fact that you are in the UK, or this is how the job is so relaxed for you, in spite of the news we hear about Nigeria?
Well, let me say this, that being confident about what you are doing, I think, gives you that aura of stability. We are not panicking in Nigeria, so it's nothing for us in Nigeria to panic about. Nigeria has challenges, and the leadership of President Goodluck Jonathan and all of us working with him are working hard to fix those problems. So as we speak for the country and work and lead it, we expect that when citizens see us, they should know that we are confident, we are stable, we are focused, and we are not panicking about anything. And that's to tell you that we are sure, in spite of all the things we hear, that Nigeria is headed in the right direction, and we're working hard to ensure that we lift our country from all the anxieties that citizens feel from some stories from Nigeria.
Honorable Minister,
Yeah.
Nigeria has lots of talents in the diaspora. What's your government's policy towards the diaspora?
First of all, particularly the leadership of President Goodluck Jonathan, has been one government that has deliberately tried to link up with the diaspora community of Nigerians to tap on their talents, to draw on their suggestions. Before the 2011 elections, the president formally engaged the diaspora. We met with them abroad and at home. A number of the organizations spread across Europe, Asia, went home and discussed with the president. I was one of those that received them. And we made it very clear that we know the talents that our people abroad have. We know their passion for the country. We also know their contribution to the economy of Nigeria. We have a lot of people who take money home on a yearly basis and who are investing in businesses at home and who also support their families at home. But over and above that, we know that Nigerians abroad, many of them are highly successful people, highly educated people. And so what we have done is to continue to open channels of communication with the diaspora. I have been here in England. This is the second time I'm coming. The last time I was here was a forum that Ben Television and others put together to discuss with the diaspora community here. Over the weekend, I also came here to discuss with Nigerian students across England who came to King's College to ask questions about their future, about the future of the country, and what role we expect them to play. 3 months ago, I was in Columbus, the United States, invited by the Nigerian diaspora community, and we had very useful discussions with them. What I can say is, like China, the Chinese reforms were propelled by the Chinese in diaspora, who went home with new knowledge, technology, opportunities, and investment. Nigerians abroad also today face the opportunity to come home and participate in what is happening. The point I made at King's College with students was, yes, there are challenges, but that's also the opportunity. Because every generation that faces challenges also has the opportunity to be great, to make historical contributions. And I think the challenges in infrastructure, the gaps in infrastructure, development reforms that are taking place in Nigeria today offer our people the opportunity to come home and participate. And we're seeing a lot of people come to Nigeria to invest now. Last year, we led in the whole continent in terms of foreign direct investment into the Nigerian economy. We have been doing so for quite some years now, and from all the international organizations, World Bank, everybody believes that between 2025, Nigeria will be the destination for investments in Africa. And this means that the rest of the world is beginning to see those challenges in Nigeria as opportunities, and so our citizens should not be left behind. And that's why we're here constantly to speak with them, to talk to you, and see what you can do for us back home in Nigeria.
Yes, Honorable Minister, I would like to, before I go to Tunde, I would like to pick on the first questions Mike started with and your response on the issue of panic. Would the people of Plateau State and the entire people in the northern part of Nigeria say that there's no need for panic? Would they be able to say that, just as you have said now? Is it right to say the atmosphere in Nigeria is not that of panic and fear?
Yeah, I mean, we have challenges, as you do know, and unfortunately, bad news makes more news than good news, especially if you're living abroad. It's all in the human psychology that what is negative is often more emphasized than what is positive. Reality is we have challenges with security in some states in northern Nigeria. And Plateau State happens to be one of them. The other states are Borno, Yobe, occasionally Bauchi. We also have had Kano in recent times and Kaduna. The rest of northern Nigeria is relatively peaceful. Yes, we've had some incidents in Madala, in Suleja, in Niger State, and some at Okene in Kogi State, in north central Nigeria. And the attacks that took place in Abuja. But generally speaking, the rest, even in northern Nigeria, the rest of the north is peaceful. If you go to Jigawa, if you go to Kebbi, if you go to Katsina, these are hardcore states in northwest of Nigeria. Relatively, there is peace. If you go to Taraba, if you go to most of Adamawa, and essentially other states, even in the northeast, Gombe, yes, occasionally, but you see there is some stability in Gombe. So even in the north, it is not everywhere that we have had crisis. Benue, Nasarawa, these are all states in northern Nigeria. So the crisis we have had, yes, are in some parts of the north. It's not even all of northern Nigeria that is involved in it. I agree that innocent citizens can get caught up. They don't necessarily have to come from those spots. But you were here in England. You have IRA bombing London for over 30 years. And there was no panic in England. There were terror attacks in London, the streets of London here. People were underground stations, there were bomb explosions in most of England by the IRA. But the English government and its people were not panicky. Rather, they had a lot of confidence because they believe in the future of their country, and they knew that these two would be one of those stories, so long as they remain together and they remain focused. So the situation in Nigeria does not call for panic. Pakistan has witnessed more crises than we have had, for example, in the last 10 years. We've not had the kind of explosions, the killings in Pakistan. Even Iraq that has been in a state of war, they are not panicky. They believe in their country and they know that occasionally certain things happen you don't like. But in the case of Nigeria, we've been working hard to bring this, to defeat the forces of violence. And we are working hard on that. The government is confident. We're investing a lot in the security, in deployment, in intelligence. And if you look at the situation in Nigeria, we have, in terms of practical management of the crisis, including the arrest of suspects and so on, we've done appreciably well. But so long as you have explosion once in a while, it will continue to distract the public, and it will continue to make news around the world. But let me say that in the